What is up, my YouTubers, and welcome to Prison Talk Tuesday. All right, so I have a few things to say for my intro first. One, the things I say in this video is not only the things based on my own opinion, but a few others as well. I will not be using names except for a few of my friends that I have made, but this is the raw truth, and so let's begin. What is up, my YouTubers, and welcome to this week's bonus prison video. All right. One, I apologize for the lighting. Two, I apologize that my wallpaper is peeling. All right. So I know I talked about some of these topics throughout the weeks of my prison topics, but in case I forgot anything, I will start with first timers. Now, one, if you are facing prison time at all, go ahead and make sure that you have enough money left on your books before you transfer out, because you can get your sentence and say, hey, okay, you're going to prison. They won't tell you when you're going. You can go that next day like I ended up doing, or you can be there for another month or two. So make sure that you have enough money on your books when you want to when you do go to prison. The reason why is because this will buy you canteen items. The items that they give you at prison, like deodorant and soap and stuff, do not work at all. And you want deodorant. Trust me, you do. And then it will also buy you like good toothpaste or good shampoo or anything else like that. Now, another thing, stamps. And it will buy you stamps. And the reason why you want a stamp is because you want to make sure to go ahead and send out your visitation forms. You want to go ahead and make sure to send out those visitation forms right away so people can be approved to send you money for canteen. Now, to put money on the phones, anybody can put money on the phones. However, if you want like anything from canteen or if you want tablet time, you have to have an approved person in order to do that. Now, there are ways around it, of course. If you don't have anybody that you know of that can be approved, you can always find somebody who is approved and your people can cash app that person. Don't get caught up in the cash app thing though, because I have met so many people who have had people cash app like 5, 6 different people, and then they owe all these people and they can't pay them back. So just be aware of your cash apps. Plus, make sure that whoever you are trusting to cash app people, the receiver is trustworthy and the person who's sending the money is trustworthy, because I've heard situations where the people who are receiving the money just spend it on themselves. So I know that seems like common sense, but you would be surprised of how many people don't think of those things. Another thing with first timers is don't go in there with this big old attitude. I went in terrified, and luckily I had a great roommate. When I walked in, they told me my bunk, and there was already a mattress on there, so they gave you your sheets, and they give you your sheets, your uniform. I think they gave us underwear and stuff. But either way, they did give us like the essentials. You go to your bunk and you set it up, and then you basically watch what other people do. And luckily, I had a great bunkmate who was very, very helpful. She looked out for me. She let me use her deodorant, which a lot of people don't do. She gave me a stamp to send home visitation forms. She was really, really nice. The funny part is since I was so terrified and you could tell I was a first timer, of course you have the people who've been in there before and they could tell I was a new person and they decided to pick on me. So, of course, what did I do? I would ignore them for so long. It takes me a while to have my buttons pushed, and I was ignoring them because I was like, whatever, they're just doing it because they know I'm new and they're trying to break me. Whatever, right? So it got to a point where I just couldn't take it anymore, and I started to fight back. Not physically fight, but just like say things back to them. I know that they were telling me how I smelled and stuff because I didn't have, like, I was using the prison soap, and even though I would take showers and I would use my bunkmate's deodorant, they just said I smelled, and it wasn't true because I felt embarrassed. I would ask certain people, did I smell? And they said no. They said, don't worry about them, ignore them or whatever. Because you know, as a female, if you hear that you smell, you're going to be self-conscious. You're like, okay, why do I smell? Is it my arms? Is it different parts of my body? And even though you know you take a shower, if that person who's the bully doesn't see you take a shower, they're going to pick on you. So I finally got to the point where I was just like, you know, skanks will be skanks. And, you know, you guys are repeat people and you're in here for a lot longer than I am. And you're probably going to get out and be right back in here. And I said some other things too, but basically I shut them down. And it's because I stuck up for not only myself, I stuck up for somebody else that they were picking on. Um, they stopped messing with me. But like I said, don't go in there expecting like to fight right away. Just to kind of observe it. There will be fights, obviously, and it's surprising how I didn't see too many physical fights. I've seen more verbal fights, but that's beside the point. Another thing is um, rules. When you're a first timer, it is really overwhelming in reception to get used to waking up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to go to breakfast. You are forced to go to breakfast. There's no options. You cannot. They did change it to where after breakfast you have to stay up. You can't go back to sleep after I think 8 a.m. I don't know if they went back to the sleeping, but you do have to have your bed made completely up with nothing on it, and you have to be dressed in your actual uniform by 8 a.m. Now, when I was in reception, as long as your bed was made and you were dressed in your uniform, you could sleep all day long. You do have to go to lunch, breakfast, and dinner. Lunch, breakfast, and dinner. You know what I mean. Um, but you can basically stay in bed all day. Then I heard that they changed it because they didn't want people sleeping all day or whatever. So I don't know. Another thing is at reception for first timers, the guards will try to break you. They want to get you used to being there and get used to using the rules because you broke the law and now you're in prison. Well, they want to not so much be military, excuse me, military disciplined. I mean, there are a couple of guards who were in the military, so they're going to be very drill sergeant like, but they basically will, like, in my opinion, they'll make up things to have like a code red, which basically means you have to be on your bunks and not move or not talk, um, like at all until they say like code clear, or they'll make everybody go in the day room and they'll count, and then they'll just make you go in the day room and sit there for however long it takes them. It's really up to them, and that's something to get used to. They will also randomly force you to go outside. They'll make up something that says everybody has to go outside, and I don't know if this is because too many people were not going outside or too many people were doing things. We also heard the rumor that they were trying to search for drugs in reception. That's why they made us all go outside, but we really have no idea. Um, Again, I am just talking about Raleigh's prison here. I don't know how all prisons work. Another first timer thing is, let's see. I think just it's mostly just getting used to everything and just knowing the rules and when laundry days are, when canteen days are. Canteen, that's what I was gonna say. Now, like I said, I apologize for this lighting, you guys. I could turn on the light, which I forgot to, and I'm not about to get back up and do that. But canteen. Like I said in one of my videos, they do give you a list of all the items that they have in the canteen for that day. And once they sell out, they sell out. But what I would do is I would get that list and I would write down, I'll show you, that I might have to show you in a different video. You know what, I'm going to have to turn on this light. Hold on. All right. So, I would get the list. Like here's this example. You probably can't read it because it's so faded by now. Usually it has like the date that it comes out written on it. And, sometimes I'll have what dorm this goes to. And this one was a four-page list. Obviously the blacked out things are the things that they are out of. You can only go to, you have 7 line days and 3 line days, and sometimes you have a free day, which basically means you can order extra things. On 7 line days, You can order things that are non-food items, like if you need batteries, if you want headphones, if you want a radio, those you could order only on 7-line days. Hygiene you can order at any time, so you can order those 7 or 4-line days. And when I'm talking about 7 or 4 lines, what I mean is, if I can find my other sheet here. All right, what I mean by 7 or 4 days, here's an example here. Like I said, I might have showed you guys this, but you may or may not be able to read this because I did kind of rip it. But like if you have any coffee, hot tea, or anything that goes on 1 line, you can only order 3 items of one thing. So you can only order like 3 coffees, 3 bags of tea, 3 sugars, all that stuff. 3 of the same kind of noodles, 3 different chips. You can only order 1 pop at a time, but they also have bundles. Now, a bundle is its own category as well, and you can only order the bundles on these 7-line days. And when I say bundle, meaning like your condiments, your honey, your sugar, your mayonnaise, your barbecue sauce, your ranch dressing, you have to pay attention to how many they come in it. Like there's 10 mayonnaises, 5 ranches, 5 barbecues. You can order peanut butter and jelly. Sugar, you can order a sweetener, or and the bundles you can order like a bundle of sweet and low and a bundle of regular sugar, because it's a bundle thing and it's separate, but those do count as its own line. And then hygiene, again, you're only allowed to order up to 3 items. Like, so you can't order like 7 toothpastes. You can only order up to like, I think 3 toothpastes, 3 deodorants, or something like that. Razors, you can only order once a month. They do keep track of that. What I would do is I wrote down, yes, I was very OCD, while I was in reception, because I didn't know how long it would take for my people to get approved, but I went ahead and wrote down everything out that they had on the list. The lists do change every week. But this way I had an idea of how much things cost, and I could pre-plan ahead. And then I also wrote down, like on the back of it, if somebody bought me something, I could pay them back. Then tablet time, it's $10 for 500 minutes, which is about $8. For stamps, now stamps did go up in price. So if anybody does end up in this prison, stamps are probably a little bit higher, but like I knew that four stamps was $2.74. So I would always plan ahead and say, how many stamps do I need to write letters back home, or if I needed to send anything out. So that's just a few things for first timers, or just for people in general to know. There were a couple things like I'm going to be in here on stories too. Snitches, that's common sense. Don't snitch. Just don't. There are a lot of people in there who you find out really fast who are snitches, and stay away from them or just don't tell them anything. It doesn't benefit them at all. I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, I've met some girls who just don't care if they're snitches at all. And I don't know if that's because they face like 5+ years and they don't care, but it really doesn't get them any like extra privileges. It might make the guards a little bit nicer to them, but honestly, it's not worth it. We've had one girl who, I don't know, she transferred to when I was in Little Raleigh. She got transferred to our Little Raleigh, and she couldn't be in certain dorms. One, because of PREA charges. You guys can look up what PREA is. I'm sure you guys have heard that term before. But not only did she have PREA charges, but she was a snitch, and she stole things from other people. So it ended up being where they couldn't move her anywhere, and they're trying to move her back up to the main prison area, but they weren't sure where to put her because she's had other problems there, and she didn't do anything to be put into isolation. So I don't know, but rules of prison: common sense, fighting. Don't be a snitch. It's common sense. And if somebody is going to pick a fight with you, stand your ground. Doesn't matter if it's verbal or physical. Now, if somebody comes at you physically, you could obviously defend yourself. You will both get charged, obviously. But I know there was a drunk fight one time. Somebody got made, I don't even know if they had taken a bunch of Subutex or something, or if they got into making hooch. I don't know. But there's a huge drunk fight, and it just ended badly, like bloody lips and stuff. I heard a fight where somebody had taken bars of soap and beat a girl in the shower, which is common for prison. But yeah, trying to think of what else is in here that I could tell you guys right now, because I have a long list. I'll show you guys my list. This is my really long list of everything that I can think of. And like I said, I have a bunch of stories in here to tell you guys. I will show you this though. When you do, after you order Canteen, you're supposed to get a receipt once a week if you have money on your books or if you spend any money, whatever. This is my receipt here. I might have showed you guys this before, but it basically just says, hey, well, this is for my dental, but it tells you, hey, this is how much money you started with, this is how much money you spent, and then blah, 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 and this is how much is available. And again, there's a receipt here somewhere. This is your Canteen receipt. Again, it's very common. It's just like a normal grocery store receipt. It says your what you've started with at the top, and then your spendable limit. You do have a spendable limit each week. So it's not like you can spend $300 every week. You do have an actual spendable limit per week. And I know I'm kind of all over the place with this video right now. I'm trying to get more organized with my notes here. Oh, yes. And when you are a first timer, make sure to go ahead and ask the diagnostics people exactly what what you're being charged with, because sometimes they do get that wrong. What exactly is your sentence? Like, how much time are you actually serving? Because some people I found out don't actually know certain things, or they have pending charges. Make sure that you know what your pending charges, and keep up with those. Basically, ask diagnostics first. They say ask your social worker. Now, if you have a good social worker, ask them. And you can write to your social worker as much as possible. I would say definitely do that. They can be a little bit more behind sometimes, but there's just, if you have a specific thing you need to know, just constantly bombard your social worker until they get a hold of you. Because I know when I first got there, I had a social worker who was just incompetent, and she just didn't answer my questions because I was asking her about, hey, what classes should I take? I was recommended this, this, and this. And she's like, well, just do this. And she didn't really help. And I was asking her, like, when exactly I would get out of prison. I said, I know it's a year, but is it a year from this date or is it a year from this date? Because, yes, I got arrested on Halloween. So um, my sentence started on November 1st, but I didn't go to court and plead guilty until January 20, I think it was January 22nd or something like that. So I didn't know if it started in January or if it started in November. I mean, that should be a common sense thing. I understand that. That really should be a common sense thing, November or January. But I didn't know. So I just wanted to clarify. And on that note, I'm pretty sure this video is all over the place in the spaz. Oh, another thing I wanted to tell you guys before I cut this video short. Another thing that I did is to make the time go by faster, and I'm sure a lot of people do this, but I went ahead and made calendars for myself, and I marked down everything. I marked down when laundry days were, when my classes were, when we got new sheets, when um, when like canteen days were, if a certain guard was working a certain day. So I knew like to either just sleep all day, because there's certain guards you would rather just sleep all day and not deal with them. I also wrote down like when I had a mammogram, when I went to the dentist, when Jim visited. I mean, I wrote down everything. Some people don't like writing calendars because it makes the time seem slower. But I liked writing calendars just because it keeps me organized. And then when I make videos like this, I can look back and say, oh, so that began then and stuff. And, or that's when I had this. And I know certain things changed on here, like certain canteen days would change or certain laundry days would change if you get moved to a different unit or whatever. But I suggest writing calendars, and that's another reason why you need money when you get in. Before I let you guys go, second thing is when you're going to make sure that money is on your books, make sure to ask before you leave the jail that you are at how your money is going to get to you in prison. Some jails send a check out. I did not know I had money coming to me, so I was very surprised. So make sure you have money, or if you don't, ask how it will be transferred, if it will be sent a check, or if you can get cash out and take it with you right away. If they do send out a check, ask how long it will take to get there. They'll probably tell you, oh, the standard, like 10 days or 2 weeks, or they don't know. But make sure to ask if you have money, if you can do cash, if you have to have a check, because I did not know that. And then when I got money, I was stoked and I was so excited because then I could pay my bunkmate back for her stamp, even though she didn't want the money back. But on the note, you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or advice, you guys can list this below. I apologize that I was a little all over the place as usual. And until next week's random prison video, you guys stay awesome. Bye. If you personally have been or know somebody who has been or is still currently incarcerated in North Carolina Correctional Institution for Women located in Raleigh, North Carolina, and would like to help do something about helping these women out, please like this video, comment below, and share this video. We need to be the voices on the outside to help these females. Please be kind to each other in the comments and stay awesome. Bye.